Have you ever wondered why some people rise above the crowd, while others spend their entire lives in quiet mediocrity? Why do some men and women carve their names into history, while others vanish forgotten, as though they never existed? The answer, at least according to one of the most misunderstood philosophers in history, is not luck, not fate, and certainly not chance. The answer is power. The answer is strategy. The answer is ruthlessness in pursuit of becoming your greatest self. This is not a guide for the timid. This is not a message for those who want comfort, safety, or the illusion of security. This is a philosophy for those who dare to rise, for those who dare to claim their life as their own. Today, we turn to the ruthless mind of Niccolò Machiavelli, the man whose name has become synonymous with cunning, ambition, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. Machiavelli did not write for dreamers. He wrote for leaders, for those willing to confront reality as it is, not as they wish it to be. He stripped away illusions and revealed the raw truths of human nature, truths that most are too afraid to face. If you want to become the greatest version of yourself, you must be willing to look into this mirror, to see yourself without disguise, and to act without hesitation. This is Machiavelli's secret to becoming unstoppable, and in this journey, we will walk through 7 ruthless principles, 7 parts of wisdom, that will show you how to break free from mediocrity and shape yourself into a figure of true power. But first, let us begin with the foundation. Part 1. Confront reality without illusion. Machiavelli believed that the greatest enemy of human progress is not external, it is internal. It is the illusions we feed ourselves. We want the world to be kinder than it is, so we convince ourselves that people are fair, that life rewards the good, and that hard work is always enough. But Machiavelli, with his cold and piercing clarity, destroyed such illusions. He told us men are ungrateful, fickle, deceitful, and greedy. They will serve you when it suits them, and abandon you when it does not. At first glance, this seems harsh, perhaps even cynical. But ask yourself, and is it false? How many times have you trusted blindly only to be betrayed? How many times have you believed that loyalty was guaranteed, only to find it vanish at the first sign of difficulty? To become the greatest version of yourself, you must adopt this same ruthless realism. You must see the world not as you wish it to be, but as it truly is. Stop expecting life to hand you rewards simply because you are good or honest. Stop expecting others to treat you with fairness just because you treat them fairly. These illusions make you weak. Greatness begins when you confront reality without disguise. That means recognizing the nature of people, their envy, their fear, their ambition. It means acknowledging the harsh truths of power, that success is not distributed by justice, but by strength, strategy, and will. When you shed illusions, you gain clarity, and with clarity, you gain power. Machiavelli tells us, the man who walks with open eyes, unblinded by fantasies, will always have the advantage over those who live in dreams. This is the first step. Look at the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. Part 2. Forge your own fortune. Once you strip away illusions, you face the raw truth of existence. No one is coming to save you. No destiny will hand you greatness. No divine favor will guarantee your success. For Machiavelli, fortune is like a wild river. It can flood and destroy, but it can also be redirected, controlled, and used to your advantage. Most people live as though they are victims of fate. They wait for opportunities. They complain about circumstances, and they curse their bad luck. But the man or woman who seeks greatness does not wait. They act. They seize fortune with boldness. Machiavelli wrote, "Fortune favors the bold." This is not empty motivation, it is a principle of life. The timid, the hesitant, the ones who wait until they feel ready, are swept aside by the river of time. Only those who dare to act even in uncertainty can redirect that river to their advantage. Think about history's great leaders: Caesar crossing the Rubicon, Alexander marching into the unknown, entrepreneurs who risked everything to create empires. None of them waited for perfect conditions. They acted boldly and fortune bent to their will. To become the greatest version of yourself, you must adopt this same daring. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, it will never come. Stop waiting for permission. No one will give it. Instead, act with decisiveness. Make choices. Take risks. Accept that sometimes you will fail, but even in failure you will grow stronger than those who never tried. Machiavelli teaches us that fortune is not a goddess who grants gifts at random. Fortune is a wild force that respects strength. She bends to those who act boldly and crushes those who hesitate. This is the second step. Seize fortune with courage. Shape your destiny with boldness. Part 3. Master the art of appearances. Machiavelli understood something most people refuse to accept. The truth of who you are matters far less than the appearance of who you are. Human beings, he insisted, judge not by reality but by what they see, what they hear, and what they imagine about you. The greatest error you can make is believing that your intentions and your inner purity are enough. They are not. In this world, people respond to perception, not to reality. Think of it. A leader may be cruel in private, but if he appears just, people will trust him. A man may be weak inside, but if he appears strong, people will follow him. A woman may be consumed by fear, but if she appears confident, doors will open for her. The world does not reward authenticity. It rewards performance. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler must learn how to be both the lion and the fox. The lion represents strength, the fox represents cunning. But even more than that, the ruler must know when to appear merciful, when to appear honest, when to appear religious, even if in reality he is none of those things. Why? Because people cling to appearances. They crave symbols more than substance. To become the greatest version of yourself, you must master this art. Do not reveal everything about yourself. Do not walk naked in truth, thinking the world will admire your honesty. Instead, craft the image you want the world to see. Build an appearance of strength, of clarity, of control. Let others believe what benefits you, and let them underestimate what they cannot see. This is not deception for cruelty's sake. It is strategy for survival and dominance. Those who neglect appearances are consumed by those who master them. Ask yourself, do you want to be the forgotten truth or the remembered illusion? This is the third step. Control appearances and you control perception. Control perception and you control power. Part 4. Discipline is ruthless freedom. Many people mistake freedom for doing whatever they wish, whenever they wish. But to Machiavelli, true power, and therefore true freedom, comes only through discipline. Without discipline, you are a slave, not to others, but to yourself. You become a prisoner of your desires, your distractions, your weaknesses, and a man who cannot command himself will never command the world. Discipline is the ruthless art of self-mastery. It is waking before others rise. It is studying when others waste time. It is training your body and sharpening your mind when the crowd is lulled by comfort. Discipline is denying yourself the easy road so you may claim the road that others fear to walk. Machiavelli observed that the states, the leaders, the armies that lasted were those governed by strict discipline. Disorder breeds decay. Weakness invites invasion. The same is true for you. If you are disordered, if you are lazy, if you surrender to every passing impulse, you will be conquered, not by enemies outside, but by the enemy within. The greatest version of yourself cannot emerge from indulgence. It can only emerge from fire, from structure, from relentless training of both body and mind. This does not mean you must never rest, never enjoy life, but it does mean that your pleasures must serve your goals, not sabotage them. Think of discipline as a weapon, a shield, and a path. It protects you against weakness. It arms you against adversity. It clears the way toward greatness. In time, you will see that discipline is not a burden. It is freedom itself. For when you can command yourself, no one else can enslave you. This is the fourth step. Through ruthless discipline, you forge unbreakable freedom. Part 5. Build power through strategy, not chance. Machiavelli never glorified brute force alone. He understood that raw strength without strategy is a beast without direction. What separates the great from the forgotten is not simply courage, not simply discipline, but the ability to think strategically and to plan moves ahead, to anticipate outcomes, to bend circumstances to one's advantage. Most people live reactively. They stumble through life responding to whatever happens to them. But the Machiavellian mind is proactive. It shapes the battlefield before the battle begins. It lays traps for obstacles before they appear. It builds alliances before enemies emerge. Strategy is the art of thinking, several steps ahead, while others are trapped in the present moment. Machiavelli advised rulers to prepare for war during times of peace, to always think of threats before they materialize. Applied to your life, this means do not wait until you are weak to seek strength. Do not wait until you are poor to seek knowledge of wealth. Do not wait until you are desperate to build allies. Always be preparing. Always be positioning yourself. Always be aware of the board you are playing on. Greatness is not won by chance. It is built through careful, deliberate strategy. Yes, boldness is necessary, as we learned in Part 2. But boldness without foresight is recklessness. The one who acts with daring and foresight together becomes unstoppable. To become the greatest version of yourself, you must learn to play the long game. Think in years, not in days. Think in decades, not in moments. When others rush blindly, you must wait patiently. When others hesitate, you must strike decisively. Your life is not a series of accidents, it is a campaign. Treat it as such. This is the fifth step. Win not by luck, but by strategy. Build your power with foresight. Part 6. Command respect, not love. Machiavelli's most infamous lesson is also his most misunderstood. He wrote that it is better for a ruler to be feared than loved, if he cannot be both. To modern ears, this sounds cold, even cruel. But beneath it lies a truth about human nature that few dare admit. Love is fickle. Love depends on emotion, and emotions change with the wind. People love you when you serve their interests, when you give them what they want. But the moment you deny them, the moment your goals clash with theirs, love turns into disappointment, even hatred. Relying on love for power is like building a fortress on sand. It cannot stand when the storm comes. Respect, however, is different. Respect endures. Respect comes not from pleasing others, but from demonstrating strength, consistency, and the refusal to be broken. A respected man may not always be liked, but he will always be obeyed. A respected woman may not always be loved, but she will always be taken seriously. Machiavelli warned against cruelty for its own sake. He did not advise sadism or needless oppression. What he taught was that if you must choose between being loved and being respected, choose respect every time. For respect is rooted in strength, and strength commands loyalty far longer than affection ever could. To become the greatest version of yourself, you must stop chasing love, approval, and validation. These are the chains of mediocrity. Instead, build a life that demands respect, through discipline, through mastery, through achievements that cannot be ignored. Let others love you if they wish, but let them respect you because they must. This is the sixth step. Seek respect, not love. Respect endures where love decays. Part 7. Embrace ruthlessness for a higher purpose. At this point, you may ask, why such ruthlessness? Why such cold philosophy? Does greatness require abandoning compassion, kindness, and morality altogether? Machiavelli's answer is subtle but clear. Greatness requires balance. Ruthlessness is not cruelty without reason. It is the discipline to act when softer hearts would hesitate, to cut away weakness when delay would destroy everything. A ruler, he argued, cannot afford the luxury of naive goodness, for the world is not kind. Likewise, you cannot become the greatest version of yourself if you cling to weakness disguised as virtue. Sometimes you must be ruthless with yourself, cutting off destructive habits, severing ties with toxic people, eliminating distractions with no hesitation. Sometimes you must be ruthless with the world, or refusing to bow to injustice, refusing to surrender your goals, refusing to live small because others demand it of you. But here is the hidden wisdom. Ruthlessness must serve a higher purpose. If you are ruthless only for selfish greed, your power will collapse. If you are ruthless only to dominate others, you will be consumed by emptiness. True Machiavellian greatness is found when ruthlessness becomes a tool to achieve something greater, a legacy, a vision, a transformation that outlasts your life. To embrace ruthlessness is not to abandon humanity, it is to sharpen it. It is to recognize that greatness is not given to the timid, but to those willing to make hard choices when others hesitate. This is the 7th step. Be ruthless not for cruelty, but for greatness. Use power to serve a higher purpose. Ending. Becoming the greatest version of yourself. Now we arrive at the end of our journey. We began with Machiavelli's challenge. Do you want to remain ordinary, or do you want to become unstoppable? Through his ruthless philosophy, we have uncovered 7 timeless steps. 1. Confront reality without illusion. 2. Forge your own fortune with boldness. 3. Master the art of appearances. 4. Discipline yourself with ruthless freedom. 5. Build power through strategy, not chance. 6. Command respect, not love. 7. Embrace ruthlessness for a higher purpose. Together, these steps form a path, not an easy path, not a comfortable path, but the path to becoming your greatest self. Understand this: greatness is not given, it is taken. It is seized with boldness, sharpened with discipline, sustained by strategy, and remembered through respect. The world will not hand you your destiny. It will resist you, tempt you, and test you. But if you follow Machiavelli's wisdom, if you dare to strip away illusions to seize fortune, to master yourself and command respect, you will rise above the ordinary. Your life will not be one of forgotten mediocrity. It will be one of power, of impact, of legacy. That is the secret. That is the gift Machiavelli leaves to those willing to listen. The question is no longer whether you can become the greatest version of yourself. The question is whether you will pay the price. And so I leave you with this challenge: do not wait. Do not dream without action. Do not soften truth with comforting lies. Stand up, sharpen yourself, and begin the ruthless journey to greatness. For history does not remember the timid. History remembers the bold.